In the late 80s and early 90s, a doctoral student at Stanford conducted this really interesting research. What she did was she created two groups. The first group were to be the tappers. Their job was they were given two well-known tunes which they were to use their fingers and tap out on a table. The listeners who were in the room with them, their job was to correctly guess the tune that they were hearing. The researcher, she asked the tappers, how often did they think that people would correctly guess the tune that they were tapping out? Their estimation was probably about 50% of the time. 1 out of 2 people would guess it right. What we've done is we've given you an opportunity to try that. We have tapped out a tune, and here's an opportunity to see if you can guess what it is.
Go for it. Oh.
Okay, you've now heard it. Do any of you have an idea? Would you like a little bit more help? We're going to add a little bit of extra background noise, which might aid you in your attempt to guess it correctly.
Oh.
So let me say, well done firstly if you got it correct the first time round. But most of you now know that it's the Star Wars theme tune. You see, in the research, what they found out was that instead of it being 50% of the time, it was only 2.5% of the time that people guessed it correctly. You see, without all the surrounding accompaniment, all they heard was quite a wooden noise. They were missing key beats and key sections of the tune, of the music. We've been thinking recently about what does it look like to live on the margins of culture. As the church has shifted away from the centre to the peripheries, how do we now live? We are now in a time when key gospel truths like Jesus dying for our sins, Jesus being Lord, what truths that sound so precious to us, to others, sound either repressive or irrelevant. Maybe you're someone who has thought, I want to share this with my friends, my family, my community, but it just feels so hard. What is it that I'm missing? We're going to be thinking over the next few weeks, how do we speak hope? How do we share the message of joy and of healing with those that we care for? You see, for a lot of us, when we share what sounds so beautiful to us, to others it sounds wooden. So how do we move from wooden to winsome? That's what we're going to be thinking about over the coming weeks. And I'd love for you to join with me as we consider what is it that we need to do to make our message comprehensible, intelligible to those who are listening. We're not talking about how do we make sure that everyone who hears becomes a believer, but how do we do it in a way that people hear exactly what it is that we're saying. So please do join me in the coming weeks.